What's up, YouTubers? This is Mike for Drones Are Eagles. If you can see, I'm coming from a place that you've never seen before. I'm at group. Like I was telling some of you the other day that I had relapsed last year in January, and I've been recovered since August 4th. So here I am at group. So I was thinking about doing something. Somebody messaged me this the other day. You know how you're always seeing videos in Kensington of people bad on drugs, sleeping in the street, but you never hear the good news, like the people that's recovering because they're sick at the time as the interview. So I decided to do some interviews at group, people that are healthy, people that are getting help, that seek help, and are doing real good. So today I'm going to try for the first time, and let me know what you think. Should I keep doing it? You know what I mean? Put it in with the videos that you've been seeing on my channel. Let me know. So drop a comment, below, and let me know what you think about it. So enjoy the video. Okay, everybody, this is my group again. We're here with Chiffon. Chiffon is somebody in my group I met, very good people, and she's one of them in recovery, just like me. So I'm just gonna ask basic questions. Chiffon, say hi to everybody in the YouTube world.
Hi, YouTube world. How are you? I just want to give a thanks to y'all because it has helped me during the COVID. I've watched a lot of videos, so I want to give a shout out to the people that's been helping in recovery, and also give a thanks to the God of my understanding.
Okay. So I just let's share a little bit to the people out there. Like, of course, you're an addict. Let's talk first about your upcoming. Like, where you from, siblings, stuff like that.
I'm actually from West Philadelphia. I had one brother, but I have a big family. My grandmother had 9 children, so my mom is the baby out of them all, so it was like I had more siblings than one.
Okay. Let's start your addiction. What was your drug of choice and how did you start? Like, what got you into it?
I started my addiction late. What happened was kind of traumatic.
Take your time. You don't have to talk about it.
My experience. I was actually 26 years old. I was doing well. I actually lived I had just got an apartment in a building where our mayor office was at, Michael Nutter at the time. I did hair. I'm a cosmetologist.
Okay.
So I was making good money. And I was in a relationship for 2 years. I had my daughter, which was 4 at the time, and I became pregnant by this man. At the time when I told my mom, it wasn't good for her at all. We wound up getting into this big brawl.
Over this man?
Over me keeping the child.
Oh, okay. Baby,
over me keeping a baby. Make a long story short, me and my mom didn't speak my whole pregnancy. Me and the man was not together. He did not want the child. And I had a C-section. Me and my mom did speak after that. And I want to say I was on maternity leave. I had my C-section, and they prescribed Percocets. At the time, my cousin that I was real close with, he became my son's godfather. I had a boy. He became his godfather. I didn't know that he had a bad pill addiction. And his girlfriend, make a long story short, the girlfriend was taking pills, and I don't know, it was something about this pill that I took. I wasn't a drinker either, and I don't know what made me go buy a beer, but I wound up buying a beer, and when I regurgitated, the feeling that I got, it just was a feeling that was like so different, that took me out myself, that made me feel like nothing bothered me, like everything was gonna be okay. And I wound up coming out of my maternity leave and getting fired from my job a month later. At this time, I had just purchased our first home. And I did not know that I was addicted.
Okay.
But everything was like spiraling downhill from there. It was like a domino effect.
So your addiction was Percocets?
Yes, my addiction was Percocets and Xanax.
Xanax. Okay. So you say you mentioned your mother. How about your father? Was your father in your life growing up?
My father was not in my life. My father was a heroin addict.
Heroin addict?
Yes. And I didn't know. What happened was my older cousin, she would be mean at times, and she just so happened to call me. I think I was like 13, and she called me on the phone, and I was so happy, like, my dad's coming home from prison, because I didn't know my dad. I just didn't have a relationship with him, but I seen him at times. And I'm like, my dad is coming home from prison, you know, I'm so happy. And she said to me, your dad is a monster. Your dad shoots up drugs.
And how old was you?
I was 13.
13.
And that like changed my whole perspective about my dad, where I didn't want to see him, I didn't want to be around him or nothing. But by the grace of God, my dad wound up coming back into my life when I was about in my early 40s. And my dad came into my life. He called. I don't know how he got my phone number. He called my cell phone and he said, you know, I need to see you. I'm real sick. And come to find out, my dad had HIV.
I'm sorry to hear that.
At the time, it was full-blown AIDS. And I didn't know that with him being in the hospital, he went in the hospital. So with him going to the hospital, taking certain medications, they was able to get it down to where it was HIV instead of AIDS. So I wound up having a relationship with him for 7 years.
Wow.
So during that, it was a curse and a blessing in itself, because I talk about it at times, but my dad became my dealer. And he always told me, like, you can never tell nobody this. You can never tell nobody. And my dad's not here today. My dad passed away. My dad passed away last year, cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But my dad became my dealer. So that's how the relationship ended.
And how old is your son now?
My son is actually the one that I had when my addiction started. My son is 21. My son is actually in the National Guards.
Oh, that's nice.
He works for Allstate Farm. My son is doing really well for himself. He has his first apartment. He's doing good.
And his father?
His father actually put prescription in glasses, but as though I knew that my his dad didn't want him. When my son turned 5, I put my son in a private school called Gerard College. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, I'm not.
But Gerard College helped my son to progress into the man he is today. He's very intelligent. He's not in the street. He does, but it helped me raise my son a whole lot. So they became second parents to my son.
Right. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to say, you know, this is enough. Enough is enough. I can't do this no more. I want help.
Well, I've always wanted help. When I remember first going to the doctors, like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stop taking these pills? And that's when I was introduced to NA from my doctor. Actually, take it back a little bit. Not only, my father became my dealer after the doctors started getting indicted, because those who were my dealers were the doctors. So, you know, I would go to the doctors, get scripts. It's been times that I would do little, like they might want to see certain things on my body because I always was a dresser. So certain things they would want to see, and I would show them things, parts of my body, and I would get free prescriptions from them. Not free, I'm showing my body, but
Right.
they would, or trade with prescriptions. And sometimes I would bring them, I would go get prescriptions for them as well, because some of them got high as well too. So I knew when I couldn't stop, because I've always been a person that paid my bills and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, it's been times where, you know, my family had to step in and help because I'm an addict. But my family made it to where as though I was never homeless, my kids never went without, and I think that was more of a turning point too, with having to go to my family and ask them to do certain things, because I'm so used to doing things on my own, and asking for help is a big struggle for me, and the day it is. But the big turning point was when they brought out that fentanyl. Fentanyl saved my life.
The what is it?
Fentanyl.
The fentanyl?
The fentanyl actually saved my life.
And how's that?
Because my girlfriends, a lot of my associates, they are professional, have careers and stuff like that. And I do hair, so my girlfriend, she's picking me up from my apartment to go. I'm actually going to go do her mother-in-law hair.
Okay.
She's an accountant for the city of Philadelphia, and her husband's a firefighter. Now, I told her that I need to get some quarters to do laundry. Get the quarters before, you know, I go do her mother-in-law hair. Make a long story short, this laundromat sold dope, and I knew it.
Dope meaning fentanyl.
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't know it was fentanyl. I thought it was heroin.
Okay.
The laundromat sold it, so, you know, that was my excuse for her to take stock there at first. But I didn't wait to use the drug. We stopped at her mom's home, and I went in the bathroom to do it, and I wound up overdosing in her mother's bathroom.
So by you overdosing, that woke you up to seek help. So that's why you say fentanyl saved your life?
Yes, it's not from that time, because I still struggled.
Right.
Still struggle, but I wound up overdosing, I want to say like 10 times.
Right.
My
Look,
last time saying no was, I'll never forget it. I wasn't a big fan of Kensington at all, but sometimes I would go there with somebody. And
what do you think about it? What do you think about Kensington, how it is now?
oh gosh.
I was just there yesterday. I made a video that I'll probably be putting up later on tonight, but it's bad.
Kensington is a world in itself.
Yes, it
so
is.
it's like amazing when I see it. We did donations and stuff out there, so it's been times I would record and stuff like that.
Right.
But I have somebody that's real close in our family that decided to live out Kensington on the street. So I actually went a couple times to see if she wanted to get help, you know, to get off
Right.
of the drug, with her having kids. And with them recording on YouTube, because a lot of that goes on. But Kensington is amazing. Like, when you go there, and if you're sober and you look, you like, I don't care.
It's
who
an
you
eye opener.
are.
It's an eye opener for especially people that are clean, the addicts.
Right.
When they see an environment like that, it's just like
Right.
amazing. It amazes them how something like that can
Right.
be in this country.
Right.
Yeah.
And then with me not being from North Philadelphia and things like that, I didn't hear about Kensington until I actually went to get clean in the outpatient.
Gotcha.
And they would talk about Kensington, and that's how I think how a lot of people got down Kensington is through word of mouth.
Right.
And with the drug being so cheap, that's what was scary to me too. With them giving out samples, I never known people to give out, samples, and
They do that.
they go down. You go down there, they might give out samples. I remember it was a time they was giving out samples. I'm like, I need this for my friend or whatever, and they giving me like 4 samples,
Yeah.
And I go down there and I'm spending $90 for a bundle. So it's like, wow, but it also can be scary.
How long you been clean?
I've been clean for some time, but I never like to jinx myself and say, oh, I have this clean time, I had that clean time. I have just for today. I'll be scared sometimes to say, oh, I have a year, or I have 2 years. Because every time I did that to myself, I've always relapsed. So I tell myself I have today. I have my children. I have one 14-year-old that I have to take care of. So we have today.
So for all, there's some addicts out there that are still using right now that they can't stop and been trying to stop. Do you have any pointers you can give to them to finally get that help? Like any pointers that you can give, any advice you can give to them to help them get into that program and seek that help?
Don't stop. Don't give up, because I know for me, if there were times where I would say, oh, I'm going to go take a vacation at the rehab, and that's what I would call it. And I want to say I was in a rehab. I went back and forth from the rehab. It might have been over 20 times. I just never gave up. Just keep going, because it might be one day. Don't worry about the embarrassment, oh, you back and all that. Don't worry about that, because at the end of the day, it's your life. If you want to live, you're going to fight.
All right. Final question, and I want you to look into the camera, and I want you to speak to whoever it is that's watching. But if you had a message to give, especially to teenagers that are watching, if there are teenagers watching, or a young 20-year-old or something like that, what advice would you have to them about drugs? If they never tried drugs before, and they're thinking about going with their friends to parties and trying it, what advice do you have for them, like to stay away from it? What can you tell them about that?
Well, I'll give them the advice that I didn't have. I never like taking aspirins, nothing, anything. And just not for teenagers. You can never, ever make a decision based on your friends, because your friends going to change every day. You might not. I remember was smoking cigarettes, and my friends was doing it, and I didn't like cigarettes, but I would say, blow it on me, and things like that, because I didn't like it. But the best thing you could do is make your own decision, because your friends going to change. Your friends are going to change. Today, I don't know what the kids are doing. I only can watch, I listen to what my son is talking about and things like that. So they have, internet and things like that on the Xbox that are also influencing them to do things. So you have to monitor and talk to your kids. They say don't be friends to your children, are not your friends, but my daughter is 25 years old. That's my best friend. My daughter been there for me through thick and thin, and my 2 boys.
That's good.
And I listen to them. I listen, and they let me know what's going on Xbox and things like that. But making your own decision, you'll always have a better outcome. And parents with the doctors learn too off of books and things like that as well. You have to do research.
Right.
You have to. If they say they giving you a certain medication and things like that, do your research on it, because a lot of these doctors were strung out too. A lot of them. So do your research.
Is there anything else you want to add? Anything before I let go?
I think I pointed on everything I had to point on. Like I said, I watch YouTube a whole lot. I watch YouTube like I watch TV.
Me too.
So, like I said, the channels that are talk about recovery interviewing the addicts and things like that. Keep up the good work, because it does help. It helped me minutes, days sometime when I was down and things like that, and also to remind me about my addiction.
Cool.
But Mark, keep up the good work, and thank you for the interview.
Mike.
So get it over.
Like, I get Marks and I get Drones. A lot of people call me Drones.
They call you Drones. That's why I said
Drones,
you
yep.
want me to call you that.
A lot of people in the comments, and when I'm on a live chat, they be like Drones. That doesn't bother me. But I always start my videos like, "What's up, YouTuber? This is Mike for Drones." Like it's there, But thank you for your time. I appreciate it. So there you go, guys. So what do you think? Is there something that you want to continue watching all the time? Give me some pointers, man. Leave a comment down. Let me know what you think. Give me some suggestions. Should I keep doing this? Should I change it up, or should I go outside? Like, let me know. I need that. You're the ones that watch. You're the subscribers. You help me out and let me know what you like, and I'll bring it to you. So another thing, I'm dropping another video tonight. I was down Kensington yesterday. I flew my drone, rode around on the scooter a little bit. I'll be dropping that video sometime tonight. I'm going to drop this one first in the afternoon. So if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. And just remember, to the world, you might be one person, but to one person, you might be their world. Peace.